Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura-Isagami, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, this week it looks like we were surprised with yet another rerun collaboration, back with the return of the Cyberkitty KURO-CHAN, another relatively early 90s-ish, early 2000s anime that aired roughly about the same time as Medarot once it hit the air too. So these two may not have a perfect history back to back, but they still do have a relation of where they debuted and how long they've been around. This time around, though, we're actually getting not one but two surprises with this rerun. The first of which is the rerun itself, with the rerun of the first two and the introduction of 3 new bots, but also on the fact that the event is starting tomorrow instead of Thursday with the regular weekly cycle. Why, might you ask? Because according to quick research that I found on the topic, it turns out that the next day, once this collab goes live, is considered Cat Day in Japan, if I read correctly. So I guess rerunning the Kuro-chan collab was certainly a really good way to bring that into light and celebrate it, and also have a lot of fun with Medarotters and give them something to work on and collect. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced this week, starting up with the gacha banners, and boy do we have a pretty fair amount of them this week, or at least coming into the next 2 weeks that this collab event is live. First of which are the first 2 models from the first time this event first came around, CKC-0 Black Kid, with a kit of Desperate, Giga Gatling, Hyper Missile, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Trigger Happy. And on a brief note, I honestly can never take that name seriously, and it's probably one reason why I would probably never see Western release, because I guarantee that'd probably raise some eyebrows. But moving forward, CKC-01, right after him, Me Army, Kuro-chan's rival in his series, with a kit of Deathlock, Sword, Unsuccess, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Battle Stance. Now, it is also worth noting that Unsuccess is a skill we've only seen once ever, and that is on Me Army. Briefly bringing that into light because it has been a while since we've seen it. Upon attacking a target, it will debuff their success by up to 50% as long as the ailment remains active, guaranteeing that any hits that do somehow land are going to be very likely 90% dodged or grazed until the ailment is removed. Now, with the rerun of these two, we also get 2 of the 3 new models joining us this week to celebrate the collab. The first of which is CKC-02 Tortorillo, with a kit of Power Hammer, Disaster, High Blow, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Bloodstain. So unlike the first 2, this one's going to be a little more on the aggressive side, especially compared to Me Army as a fellow melee fighter. But for those that maybe missed Disaster from Unit 2 in the EVA collab, this will be a really good opportunity to pick up that skill yet again, or try for it, because it is actually a very solid skill if you can make good use of it. Behind him, we also see CKC-03 Geha-Chappen, with the kit of Wide Repair, Disturbance, Revive, Float Legs, and the leg ability of White Mage, or White Mate, depending on translation. Now, Geha-Chappen in particular will be debuting 2 brand new skills, one of which is a skill, the other is a leg ability, as you see here. Kind of breaking them down briefly before my individual breakdown of him. Wide Repair is basically just a more potent version of All Repair or Field Repair, which is an AoE healing skill that provides HP back to all active parts that are not broken. White Mage, on the other hand, as a new leg ability, will buff all leg stats by about 10% or so for each use of a healing skill, minus, of course, armor and heavy limit, kind of building on a trend that Gabriven, the Gabriel Archangel type, started with the same ability but with shooting attacks. Now, with the introduction of these, we also have a couple rerun banners that are joining us for Cat Day as well with this collaboration. The first of which is CAT-01 Peppercat, the ever iconic and well-loved and shocking cat type of anyone who knows the series, with a kit of Stealth, Double Shock, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Spearhead. Behind her, we have IDL-03 Cheerful Bunny, one of our 3 lovely Metatuber girls, with a kit of Hyper Crept, Charge Drain, Overcharge, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Mirage. And then, last but not least, KLN-01 Meisai Moran with the kit of Melee Trap, Power Rifle, Gatling, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Clairvoyance. Now, for anyone who's played the game longer than I'd say about a week would know, Pepper Cat is considered a spotlight model, which means she is in every banner no matter where you pull or how you pull. So her particular banner is just going to be the regular pool plus a boosted rate for her. I would actively recommend skipping it for that very reason, and instead pool your resources towards one of the other two models or even the collab models, which I would highly encourage prioritizing, because as you pull for them, you're probably going to get a good chance at pulling something of Pepper Cat just passively, even if it is at the normal rate. Now, there are a number of reasons why we have such a big number of banners this week and the next week. First of which is tied to the collab, the other of which is another reason as a bonus to the collab, which I will get to in just a moment. With the Fierce Battles we have this week, though, it is going to be a little bit lower key and not quite as highlighting a lot of well-known bots, but still very good skills all the same. Starting of which we have OWS0 Papio Chevalier with the kit of Fight Boost, Discharge, Counter Guard, Float Legs, and the Mascot leg ability. Behind her, we see DRF03 Seedy King, the Dragonfly type, with the kit of Press, Anti-Air, Press, Flight Legs, and the Bullet Rain leg ability. And then last but not least, another model that doesn't quite get cycled here in the Fierce Battles every here and there is GBK01 Melody Beat, with the kit of Super Repair, Wave, Missile, Multi-Legs, and the leg ability of All-Rounder. Now again, these models may not sport anything new or dangerous or game-breaking compared to Queen Vespa we had this week with Static, but they still offer a lot of very solid skills that you can make use of, or skills that maybe got a boost in recent that could be made very useful as of current update and patch. That being said, I would honestly, if I had to give it to one, have to give the MVP of the week to Papio Chevalier, given that Float Legs you generally can't go wrong with. Mascot leg ability also is good, but her all-around coverage as a melee supporter honestly does give her a little bit of an edge. Especially now that Fight Boost gives a 50% bonus instead of the original 30 it did before. Behind her, I would honestly have to give a close second to Seedy King, given that Bullet Rain is a very good leg ability for shooters, and Anti-Air is something you generally can't ever go wrong with holding onto, or even raising up to a certain point just for the sake of holding onto it. Now, also in tied with the collab, we do also naturally have some new Medarots to join the banners, or at least for the duration of the collaboration. This time, it is going to be Kikuhime, Nozomi, and Isaki sporting some very adorable cat hoodies as they also take part in the fun as super rare Medarots to pull for. The new abilities that they are picking will be just a little bit gimmicky depending on how you use them, but still rather interesting all the same. Kikuhime, for instance, will buff Giga Gatling specifically for every use of a shooting attack up to 3 stacks. So even though the skill for her might be a little picky, it is honestly very good to know because we do have a pretty fair chunk of shooters now that actually have Giga Gatling either as a part or as a drive. Nozomi will swap the power of the head and the left arm, or if the Medarot is a meta change model, those two drives will have their power swapped as well as a 20% debuff to cool, as well as an additional penalty to this bonus. Isaki, on the other hand, will negate all cooldown penalties for 1 turn. So say if you go up to use laser, Hyper Beam, or Ghost Shot, or something that would hit you with no dodge or no defend in your cooldown, once this skill is activated, you actually don't have to worry about those in particular for that turn. In addition, it will also give you a little bit of a boost to your resist stats and your evade if I did read it correctly. So honestly, of the 3, I would have to give the really big MVP to Isaki in this case. But I do have to say Nozomi and Kikuhime both have some really good skills as well to consider and offer if you do pull for any of them. Now, with the event itself, they are also highlighting a lot of paid skins or the return of event skins from the first run. The first of which, on the top picture here, are the new skins available with the second half or the new version of the collab event, highlighting a Medavi colored Black Kid and a Rokusho colored Me Army, as well as a Smilodon colored Totorilo, which is the new model, and special skins for Pepper Cat and Evil Rex to also join the fun, also as cat types to join the series. In addition, with the picture on the bottom, these are actually the rerun skins from the first time the event came around. For Meisai Moran, Cheerful Bunny, and Gato Alpar, who may not be highlighted this week, but probably next week with the second half of the collab. I do anticipate seeing her as a rerun so people can collect her skin. So that's the reason primarily that Cheerful Bunny and Meisai Moran are rerunning this week, for anyone that can challenge the event and go collect their skins to hold onto. Now, with the event itself, it actually is two-part and will be broken down over 2 weeks. The first half of the event and the first chunk that people will likely go after will be the first run, where people can collect the first the rewards from the first run, which include the bouncer medal, the commemorative profile banner, and very likely even skins for the rerun models if they're not tossed in with the main event. So that'll be a really good opportunity for yet another medal, and a very good one at that too, with the bouncer medal having a mastery in shooting, support, and healing, with leg masteries in biped, tank, and flight. The second part and the main form of the rerun event will give you new rewards, however, such as a collaborative Medarot skin for Kutoba, I'm so sorry, the Scientist medal with a mastery in shoot, healing, and setup, and leg masteries in multi, tank, and float, and then a second commemorative profile banner to also tell players that I took part in this event and it was a great thing, and this is what I got out of it. So a really good opportunity for a lot of rewards. This also is not touching on any rubies for first time completion, daily logins, or any other rewards or resources that they may have throughout the course of this event. The event itself also will be ticket-based, much like current events as of recent, with a blue and a silver ticket bonus being highlighted this round. All the main gacha models, such as Meisai Moran, Cheerful Bunny, Pepper Cat, and of course Cross Messiah, for anyone that has not pulled any of them, will be highlighting the main +3 bonus for blue tickets, as well as Tortorilo and Geha Chapin, as well as Black Kid highlighting the main bonuses for silver tickets, of course excluding Medarot bonuses on top of that. That being said, because this event is ticket-based, you do want to specialize in mixing the parts across the team, so you can maximize your bonuses across the board. An example of this includes, say if you do manage to snag Tortorilo as the main model you want for the first half, it'd be better to spread his parts, such as say head and legs to one, an arm to a second, and the other arm to a third, so all of them can specialize and enjoy that +3 silver ticket bonus, instead of just using him as a pure set, where he's only getting a flat +3 and nothing more. In addition to all this, as well as another celebration to Cat Day, Black Kid and Me Army will be getting tune-up treatments, much like the Ghost in the Shell and the Omega Sisters reruns that we had in recent. Also got the tune-up treatment to kind of highlight the rerun portion of the event. But in a surprising turn of events, Pepper Cat will also be getting the tune-up treatment, with a lot of her bonuses including extended durations while opponents are stopped cold and paralyzed. So this will be something else that players can work on and kind of build on the side as they're working on the event, or even just farming it as a whole. Because these tune-ups are honestly very good ways to build bots that may not have been super great at first or been niche, and make them even better than they were before, and massively change how they play the game. One other final reminder from me is that the Ori Meta contest that we are hosting in the Discord server, Project Rising Beetle, has 1 week remaining before the event will close. So we have not had a lot of interaction or a lot of art that was posted thus far, so I'm a little bummed to a point, but I'm hoping that in this last week you guys will really pound out some stuff to post, because I want you guys to make it hard on me. I want you guys to post so many art pieces of the submissions you're allowed that I may have to take a whole video just to kind of break them down before I decide on a winner, or how I choose to do that. Because I absolutely love seeing the fan art that people design, both on Twitter and on Facebook, and even in our Discord server too. People like to post their stuff there. I want to see a lot of entries, so I have a really hard time picking winners along with the judges to determine who earns the prize. So just as a final reminder of that, this is the final week. The event will close at the end of 2/28 at the end of the month. So if you have not had a chance to submit your art yet, this is your final call to do so. On the community front, progress toward Medarot 3 is still going very well. Variant and Wise have officially begun work on decompiling Medarot 4 through these last couple weeks. So, as always, we are always looking for translators to assist us with translation efforts or cleaning efforts, because even if the base mechanics of Medarot 3 and everything up to Chapter 1 have been completed, there is still a lot of text that needs to be decompiled and translated to make the game 100% complete and fan-translated. And also the same can be said for the Medarot 4 translation, even if it is just barely starting out now, and that same can also be said for the Reloaded manga translation. Now that the manga is officially over, there really are no future chapters to my knowledge that will be posted, so they should all be compiled and collected. We just need cleaners and translators to help with getting that posted so we can enjoy the same story that has been ongoing for a pretty good number of weeks now, and enjoy the story of Kagami as he rescues his sister. On the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, I found this really nice piece here by Twitter user Ito Nova, or Twitter handle Ito Vanitas, highlighting an OG model from the early days, the loved crayfish type Rollstar, and one of the original masters of laser fighting, alongside, of course, Yellow Turtle, of course, in Medarot 1 as well. And this piece here by Twitter user Dead Lead Art, who did a very nice and cush piece of Sailor Multi, kind of highlighting how well she's loved, not just by the series as a whole, but also by its fan base as an iconic model and staple character of the Medarot series, essentially as a whole. So wonderful art to the both of these people. If you'd like to see more, definitely give both of them a follow. You will not be sorry for adding them to your daily feeds. But with all this being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week. I was expecting a rather quiet week after a very busy January, and February kind of a way to cool down and relax a little bit, but it looks like Imagineer had other plans. But it's understandable why, given to celebrate Cat Day. That being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there. You can also join. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new merchandise that's announced, fan art, my weekly videos, breakdowns, or anything else in between. That's the first place you'll hear it before it goes anywhere else. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at IsagamIKura, so if you have any questions or feedback or comments, or even just want to reach out or say hello, I leave my DMs open for this very reason on Twitter, so that you can come in and say hello. I may not get back to you right away, but I for sure will when I get the chance. Also, if you are a VTuber or a streamer and would love to collab or even guest host with me here on the MNN, or even have me on your channel to stop by and say hello, I would love to hear from you. So feel free to reach out, drop a DM and say hello, and I'll get back to you when I can. Do also give these wonderful friends of mine a follow as well on Twitter. Twitter user Mecha Desperado, a mechanized Medaroid VTuber who does a lot of Medarot games and content. Currently, she's working on a playthrough of Medarot 5 on her channel. Have been having a lot of fun with that. And do also give Twitter user UC Sachinashi a follow as well. He's been doing a lot of game dev on their feed as well that they've been working on. But they also made it a point to post their Medarot BGM covers on YouTube to be listened to at any time. And they are wonderful covers, including Strike Enemy, Beat the Diamonds, Shout, Do or Die. Wonderful covers, highly recommend listening to them. But with all this being said, I do appreciate you all for stopping by just as you always have. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.